When you have just a few days in Hong Kong, with so much to see, it is hard to know just where to start. Victoria Harbour, which is the divide between Hong Kong Island and the mainland of Kowloon, it's an obvious place to begin with this bustling activity of marine craft, ranging from commuter ferries, pleasure craft, commercial shipping and cruise liners, all plying for a spot on the water. Against the backdrop of rugged mountains and skyscrapers reaching upwards into the sky. A trip across the harbour from Kowloon to the island on the Star Ferry is an enjoyable way to view the city from the water. Right by the ferry terminal on Hong Kong Island is the Marine Museum and Ferris wheel. Pay a visit to the museum. It gives you a good insight into the maritime history of Hong Kong, from the days of piracy from the early 19th century through to modern day shipping and port development. Be entertained by street performers as you wander by the foreshore promenade. You have a number of options for travel around the city, from the big bus hop-on hop-off tours to the public double-decker buses and mini-buses to the mass transit railway for those bigger journeys. We found the double-decker buses very handy. They're running every few minutes and it's not hard to find one to take you where you want to go. Mind you, it might be standing room only. Hong Kong Island also has a tram system as well. On the far side of Hong Kong Island is the coastal town of Stanley, with its array of small shops, street stalls, markets and waterfront restaurants. It makes for a pleasant visit to this side of the island. Further around the island is the township of Aberdeen. It is not only well known for its tourism, but it is a base for the local fishing industry and is known for its floating village and floating seafood restaurants located on the harbour. Hong Kong Island was originally known as Aberdeen. This is where the British made contact with the local fishermen during the early 19th century. While we're in the area, let's go to the top of the mountain to Victoria Peak. On a clear day from here, you can get magnificent views out across Victoria Harbour and the city skyline. Unfortunately, the day that we were there, it was not clear. Catch the Peak tram from here, which brings you back down into the city on the island. Hong Kong, at last count, had some 7,840 high-rise towers across the city and suburbs. Because of the rugged mountains as a backdrop to the city, the only way that the city can grow is to go up. Make a point of being down on the promenade foreshore on the Kowloon side at night to see the lights of the city and the passing river traffic in all its glory. Enjoy a restaurant cruise on a sailing junk to experience the dazzling lights from the harbour. Each night, a number of the high-rise on the Hong Kong Island side participate in a symphony of lights, a laser display of light across the harbour. Many thousands gather each night by the Star Ferry Terminal Promenade on Kowloon to enjoy the kaleidoscope of colour. Hong Kong Island was formerly a colony of the British Empire, occupied during the First Opium War of 1842. Following the Second Opium War of 1860, the British occupied the Kowloon side of the harbour. From 1898, Britain acquired a 99-year lease on the territory. During the Pacific War of the 1940s, Hong Kong came under heavy attack from the Japanese. From 1945, Britain resumed control of the territory. It experienced an influx of immigration from China following the rule of the Chinese Communist Party in mainland China from 1949. The territory was handed back to the Chinese in 1997. While in Hong Kong, you need to experience at least one outdoor market. Why not start with the market by the Prince Edward Railway Station? Get into the bargaining spirit along with the thousands of others that gather there to pick up a bargain. Some of the young locals, they choose to opt out and find a quieter place on the overhead walkways for a quiet meal or to catch up with friends and a chat on their phones. Across the road from the main market is the flower market with its multitude of stalls doing a robust trade in selling arrangements of flowers. There must be many lucky loved ones who will receive a beautiful arrangement tonight. While you're in Hong Kong, it is a great experience to go out into the suburbs and find the back streets to see how the locals really live their lives. We were there on a Sunday morning, but for many it was not a day of rest. Sunday is washing day, and what better spot to dry your washing than from the clothesline hanging out over the street from your window. Shop owners are getting their shops ready for the next week's trade. Everyone is busy. To the delicatessen, to women preparing boxes of gifts to send to their loved ones overseas, to the scrap metal dealer or the fresh vegetable man or the butchers on the street. People are stocking up on their week's supply of fresh meat. While in Hong Kong, why not dine out in the suburbs as the locals dine out and try some authentic Asian food? Maybe we just haven't quite mastered the art of chopsticks yet. Time has now run out, so we need to take a flight to our next destination.